After 61 years, will the rear pool of our shrine to science become a meadow? As an 11-year-old, one of my indelible experiences at the 1962 Seattle World's Fair, yours too if you attended, came on a mocked-up old-time Western Street inside the U.S. Science Pavilion. The ruse was amusing, but unsettling. Walking on a wooden ramp, I headed downhill, but adjacent storefronts slanted sharply forward, bending my mind to think that I was climbing uphill. This life-size optical illusion captivated local and international press. Even renowned British journalist and later TV host Alistair Cook wrote that the exhibit produced slight nausea for visitors to the pavilion. Inducing similar disorientation today is a plan hatched by the same elegant and beloved shrine to science, which, post-fair, was renamed the Pacific Science Center and is newly rebranded PacSci. PacSci is proposing scenarios to transform its rectangular rear pool, the one behind its 5 famous curved arches. Several preliminary schemes call for filling the 20,500 square foot basin with, no illusion, a waterless meadow. The rationale is to remedy massive water leaks plaguing PacSci's 61-year-old pair of pools. Patchwork repairs cost $170,000 a year, and complete restoration would run a whopping $17 million, says Will Dougherty, PacSci president and CEO. The pools, he says, face catastrophic failure. The meadow plan, he asserts, is grounded in respect for PacSci's original architect, the late Minoru Yamasaki, and for Northwest flavored science. We understand our responsibilities as stewards for a magical setting, Dougherty says, and a replacement meadow could stopper a long-term financial drain while showcasing indigenous plantings. Our community wants their science center to look to the future. Adding life to the courtyard will help us meet these community needs. A big hurdle, however, is the city's Landmarks Preservation Board, from which PacSci sought and received protective landmark status in 2009-2010. In that context, PacSci holds prestige as one of only 5 structures among the city's 400-plus official landmarks to have met all 6 of Seattle's landmark criteria. Unsurprisingly, during a 100-minute PacSci briefing on February 15th, several Landmarks board members doubted they would approve meadowizing the rear pool. Nor are other preservationists keen on it. Eugenia Wu of Historic Seattle says the interplay of PacSci's pools, buildings, and arches is indispensable to its appeal. To plug the rear basin, she says, would be as preposterous as infilling the Lincoln Memorial's reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. A meadow also could run afoul of the already dispersed state heritage capital grants that require PacSci to preserve its historic features, says Jay Baerston of the Washington State Historical Society. In addition, the plan has generated vigorous online debate. We'll see, but this is one plan that may end up all wet. In our first then photo, the rear, upper left, and front pools of the U.S. Science Pavilion, today's Pacific Science Center, or PacSci, are seen through the slats of the Space Needle's ring during the 1962 Seattle World's Fair. Earlier maps and photos indicate that in the decades before the fair, the pavilion site included homes, offices, a gas station, and a union hall. In our second then photo, at ground level in 1962, colored lighting illuminates the rear pool. In our third then photo, Minoru Yamasaki, architect of the U.S. Science Pavilion for the 1962 Seattle World's Fair, appears on the cover of Time magazine on January 18, 1963, amid a gleaming vision of the pavilion, rebranded today as Paksai. Touring the site 17 days before the fair opened, Yamasaki and co-architect Perry B. Johansson told the Seattle Times, "We wanted to create a place of serenity. We wanted visitors to be intrigued as they first see the 5 towers of the pavilion, and then the visual surprise of pools and fountains." Viewed through the slats of the Space Needle Ring today, Paksai's rear pool remains the same as in 1962, except for more recent additions, including a diamond-shaped walkway and waterworks exhibits. Also today, Grace Kim, Paksai consultant from the Seattle-based Schemata Workshop Architecture and Urban Design Practice, discusses the rear pool, which scenarios call for filling with a meadow. Kim says that the Paksai rectangular basin's constantly moving water does not reflect surrounding images, but nevertheless they are deemed reflecting pools because they prompt personal reflection. Also today, this schematic depicts Paksai's significant enhancement option for converting its rear pool into a meadow.